Okay, good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about reading strategies, and we're going to talk about not only comprehension, but also we're going to talk about fluency. I'd first like to address fluency. It's actually the easiest for me to address. Fluency is how a child reads, how smooth and how fast they read. And I've never been one to feel like a child has to read fast, because I am not a fast reader, but I am a reader and I comprehend. So I don't think a child has to read fast, but the studies say that the faster and smoother a child reads, the better his comprehension will be. And the best way that I've seen to help a child with their fluency is there's two different ways. One is to read to your child. And when you're doing that, you're modeling to them what fluent reading looks like. This can be done not just to younger children, but to older children as well. As high as 6th grade still like to be read to. I found that one of the best times to do this is at night. And my daughter, who is is 11, almost 12, still loves to be read to. Another is to have the child read to you. Pick a book and have your child read that book to you. And at night or first thing in the morning is really one of the best times for a child to read to you. One of the things that I've learned is you don't need to correct your child all just constantly. Let them find out or figure it out themselves. Because that helps them to self-correct. As adults, we don't even know that we're doing that, but we are self-correcting in ourselves. And so when your child is reading to you, give them 3-4 seconds before you actually help them, so that they can learn to do that themselves, because that's how they learn. And this is, to me, in my humble opinion, these two ways are the best ways to help a child with fluency. Now, comprehension is another thing. A lot of children can read the words, but they don't always comprehend what they read. And I found that questions are a good way to use as an assessment of an overall reading, but to keep a child interested and thinking about what they read, you need more than just questions. Now, years ago, I found a wonderful book, and I can't find it in print anymore, but I did get a lot of ideas from that, and that's some of the stuff that I'm going to show you today. I put together also some things that I've done over the years myself, so I'm going to show you some of those too. Now, some of those are the lap book components, the mini books that we have done in the past. Those can be done as comprehension things. And one of the ones that I'd like to show you that is really easy, you can get it on the homeschool share that I've told you a lot about, but you can also do it yourself very easily. This is the one that I'm talking about, the little flat book, and you can put a title, the book title, excuse me, and then on each flap you can either put a question, a word, just about anything you can put right here, and then you put the answer underneath. And so you put another question right here and the answer. This is a flat book, and they're very easy to make, so I'm going to show you how to make this flat book. And now I'm using 4 sheets of paper, and they're four different colors, and I just picked 4 pretty light colors because you want them to be able to write on them. So I cut just lengthwise. I just cut straight down lengthwise. And then I wasn't sure how to put this down on paper, but you layer them. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Layer the pieces of paper. I usually do about 1 inch, so that they have enough room to do a question or something like that. So let me see if I can get this, because I'm trying not to move my camera like I usually do. See how I've layered those? Let me get my yellow out a little bit more. See how I've layered those? And then, of course, make them straight. Okay. Then the only thing you have to do is you fold this. Let me see what I'm doing. You fold this down like this. See? You fold it down. Make sure it's straight. And make sure that this, the one that's the same right here, make sure you have about an inch between those two. Then you fold it down and do a real good job of folding it. And then you would just, and you can do one or two, just make sure you get all of them, staples. And that's your flat book. So now you have a flat book that you can put the title, you can put questions. This is also a really good, a flat book is really good for vocabulary or vocabulary words. So they put the word right here and then put the definition, they put the definition underneath. So that is a very easy book that you can do in just a couple of minutes. And if you already had questions prepared, and you would need pretty short questions to, you know, to be able to put under there, but they could put the correct questions and answer the questions, and you could, they would, you know, be thinking about their book within minutes. I mean, that one is very easy. Another one is this is something I have done, and I don't know who showed me this. For some reason I cannot think where I got this, but the first time that I used it was for writing, for creative writing. And this is just your handprint, and then you put the who, what, where, when, why, and then how. And this is what we did. Who, what, where, when, why, how is what we would do to have them remember that. All the fingers are W's, and the how is the only one that's not a W. And so if you've got, they're reading a book, and it can be about a scene or the whole book, either one. But if they have a particular thing that's happening right then, they can do that just for that scene. And what we usually do is I have them do their handprint, cut it out, put the answers, and this one didn't have the how for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it did it. And but they write the answers here and the how, and then they drew a picture or something and made it look real cute. And so this one was another one. Now the way that I used it for creative writing is you do a base sentence. We went to the mall, but then you add for every one of these. So who went to the mall? Instead of saying we, you would elaborate and tell who else. The next one was what went to the mall, or what did you go to the mall for? Where? So instead of just the mall, you would be more specific. When did you go to the mall? Yesterday, today, tomorrow, whatever. Why did you go on the mall, and how? So you would use this to use a very simple sentence and then make that sentence a lot more elaborate. I'm not sure what's wrong with my throat. I'm sorry. I don't want to continue to do that, but so this is a very easy one because the children always love to do their handprints. And so this is the who, what, where, when, why, and how. And they can do that about the book or the scene. And like I said, just as a bonus, you can also use it during creative writing. So that's a very easy one also. One that I used in my classroom, which I think would go very easily in the homeschool classroom, is doing a reading journal. And what I had my students do is they would make a reading journal each time they had a book. Okay, so this is what the journals look like, and this is just a piece of construction paper, and then I put either typing paper or this is typing paper, and I just got a piece of typing paper and put it in here, and then just folded the whole thing up, and I stapled it. But then they can, if you use a notebook paper, it will have lines, which for some children they need lines, but other ones can do this and they can draw and things like that on the typing paper. So this is what the actual journal looks like. And then what I did in my classroom, which I really loved it, and I've tried to keep a copy of this, is every single day for 15 days, it has something for them to do. And I've written down a couple of these. On day one, they are to illustrate the journal, which this is the journal. So they illustrate the front of their journal, and it says to look at the book's cover for ideas. On day 4, it says write a summary of the events that have happened so far. So you know on day four they're not going to be finished with the book if they're in a chapter book, but they can write the events, a summary of the events that have happened so far. On day 11, they're to sketch a poster that advertises their books. And below the poster at the bottom of the little page, they're to write 2 sentences that describe the book so far. Day 15, which is the last day, it says write a paragraph explaining why you think your book should be made into a movie and who you think the star should be. And so this also has list 5 vocabulary words in your journal. Write a news article about the book, about 2 things that you learned in your book. Pretend that you're one of the characters and write a diary entry. Write a letter to the editor, a letter to the author. Write a timeline of the events that have happened so far. So every day they have something to do in their little journals. And like I said, the journals are very, very easy to make. Like I said, I just stapled it and put typing paper in it. But you can also put notebook paper. So to me, that's a very good thing, because if a child knows that they're going to have to do something, some kind of activity to go with their book they're reading, then they're going to pay attention to what they're reading a little bit more than if they didn't know, if they don't have any accountability. So that to me is a really easy way also is that reading journal. And my students always enjoyed the reading journals, and we usually didn't start the reading journals till after Christmas, but they usually enjoyed them and did real well with them, and I think it would really go well with homeschool also. Now I haven't started Abby doing this, but I think she would benefit also. Now another really cool thing, like I said, reading strategies for comprehension. For me, one of the best things is just to keep the child reading and paying attention to what they're reading, being interested, and having something that's creative. And so this is something that someone showed me, and you can do it. This one that I'm going to show you is only 1 bag, but you can do it with up to 3 bags. 4 starts getting a little thick. But this is a little book that you can make, or booklet, that you can make out of a paper bag. And so this one is fixed and ready and everything. But this is the paper bag. This is the paper bag, like this. And you just put the inside flat and fold it, and then you cover it either with construction paper. Now this paper that I have is scrapbooking paper. That's what I'm trying to think of. And usually we did at least 2 bags, so you would have this one, and then you'd have another thing, and then you'd have the back like this. And what I usually use these for in my classroom was this was called our book report bags, our bag book reports. That's what it was, our bag book reports. And what they did on these is they would have to do the title of the book and the author and the illustrator and maybe some little picture or something. And then on the pages, oh, I forgot to show you this. Also, inside the flap of the bag, you can put a sheet of paper. Sheet of paper that they can also put something right there, and it sticks in there. So that was really cute. And if you have the 2 bags, then you have 2 of those. But what we usually did is they would do the setting, the characters. I've lost my place. I'm sorry. The settings, the characters, conflict resolution, and the ending. And so that's what we would do on here. Like I said, this would be a title, and then they would do characters, setting, conflict resolution, and then on the very back they do the ending of the story. And to me, these were really cute because it gave them a way to do something creative. They could color these, If you get the white bags, they can color them really easily. Now, the white ones were just a little bit more expensive. This is just a brown bag and then it's just covered. And I always used those because they were cheaper. But the white bags they can actually draw on easier than they can draw on these. These can also be used just a mini book, and they would just do a summary on the inside of the book. And so this would just be like a little summary book of their book. But I always liked the bag book reports because they would have to do setting, characters, conflict resolution, and ending, and that kind of gets them thinking in a book report type of way. So that's another really cute thing. Now I have a lot of different things that are one-page kind of things that I'm going to show you that are also some comprehension strategies to keep the children using what they're reading and attending to what they're reading. And a lot of these came from that book that I told you about, and then some of them came from some other teachers. So I'm just going to show you some of these pages. And like I said, these are just pages. Now, some of these also, there's a flag and a banner, and we would, as a teacher, when they would do those, I would usually string up some yarn or something and hang them up there so they could look at them. But here, this one is a web, just a story web. This one is a picture mural, and so in the middle they would put the title, and then they do a picture to show how the story went. This one is a character map. I've got them upside down. This one is a character map, so they put the title, the name of the character here, and then they would put different things about the character, and the last one says, does the character seem real, yes or no, and tell why it's not real. This one's a picture walk, and this one they would draw a picture beginning, middle, and end is what they would do on this one. And so that's just that one came from that book. Making word cards, and I had this one from somewhere else, but usually we just used 3x5 cards. Doing a cause and effect sheet to where you talk about what happened and why that happened. So that helps a child think through a book. Now here's one of those that's the banner and the flag. And so the banner looks like a banner and the flag looks like a flag. And around the edges of the flag it has the book title and the author, the setting, the characters, all of those things. So that's part of the flag. Doing a letter to the author. Doing an article kind of thing. I can't pick it up. Doing an article like a newspaper, and they would do the book title and the author, and then they'd write about the book and maybe draw a picture in the little square. The advertise a book poster, that one is something that I put in the journal thing because I had seen this. Now this is a little chart thing. I don't remember where I got this one. Must have been from another teacher because it's lopsided, and usually that's how it went when I was doing it. And it's just the beginning, middle, and end, and then down here they told if they liked it or not. And then the last one is a story map, and it's just where they do pictures in one sentence to tell about their pictures. So all of these kinds of things are things that can be done really easy. I usually kept one thing that I could copy off of, and then I had this as a center or something like that. But for the homeschool child, you would just use these off and on to have them attending to their story, because to me that's the best way for a child to use their thinking skills in helping their comprehension. Now, another thing that in the school system we had to worry about was either what we called a reluctant reader, someone that really didn't like to read, but also just a child that's having trouble reading. Some in the classroom we had children that were low, middle, and high. And I remember when I was young, we had different reading groups, and you had the low, middle, and high, and we called them bluebirds or whatever. Well, in the classroom now, they can't do that very much. So we had to find things that we could do to help these reluctant readers. And one thing that I found, and it's not terribly expensive, but there is a cost to it, and it's called reading A to Z.com, but it's reading A dash Z, and I'll put that real quick. Reading A dash Z.com. Now that's the website, and what it is, it's printable books, and they're small books, so they're not, a huge chapter book, and they have shorter ones and longer ones. But here is the one book that I found without any trouble, and this is level H, and I think that it's between second or third grade level is what I think the reading level is. I can't remember. When I was doing this all the time, I could have told you really easily, but the books are all black and white, but they have pictures and the reading, and they're just little books, and they even had a different series, because they had a whole series of a family of rabbits. I don't remember the name of them. And then they had another series that was a mystery. But this is what the books look like. And on the website, you just print these books out, and you kind of have to learn how to actually put them together, because if you look right here, these are folded edges. But they also had lesson plans, activities to do, and quizzes for the books. Sorry, that was the back of the book. And for a reluctant reader, or a child that's having a little more trouble reading, these little books seem to work really well with those readers in my classroom. Another thing about these, they have a little assessment test that you can do, and those can tell you what level they're on, and then you can work them through the levels. So I cannot remember exactly how much it is a year, but it's like a yearly thing to do this. And then they have a couple of other ones, like maybe math A to Z. I can't remember exactly, but I know they have writing A to Z. But I loved these for my classroom, because when I had a child that was having a lot of trouble keeping up with the other children reading, if I could get him something like this for him to use, usually that was something that they would like, because it's smaller and they could read through it. And as soon as they read through it and could read it really well, I'd let them take it home. And where I taught, that was a big deal. They didn't have a lot of books in their home, so this was something that they really enjoyed. So that's www.readinga-z.com is where that is. So that's just something I wanted to put out there. Now, another thing about fluency and comprehension both that can be used to help those is reading real world reading, which is like newspapers and magazines and newsletters and things like that. And when a child does that, when they read a chapter book, it's make-believe. Even if it's a real book, it's still kind of make-believe in their mind. But when they're reading a newspaper, they know that that's something that has really happened, and it kind of becomes more personal to that child. And so that seems to be something that helps some children get more involved in reading, is reading a newspaper. And one thing that you can do is have your child do a current events once a week. That's usually, when I taught my older children, I did that a lot. They actually did one current event each week, and they would do it to the other one. Now that I only have one at home, I haven't done that as much, because she would just read it to me, and she doesn't think that's as fun as doing it to somebody else. So that's some of the things that I have done in my classroom and at home uh, to work on reading comprehension. And like I said, reading fluency, to me, the best thing is reading to them and for them to read to you. But I'd like to know if anybody else has some activities and things that y'all enjoy to do also. Um, I, I do have this material. If you would like this, just email me, and it will be for sale for $5.50. And it has the reading log. I'm going to send you a little thing to show you how to make the paper bag thing. The I really haven't got anything that has the who, what, where, when, and why on it, but I mean, that's not really hard. I think y'all can do that one on your own. But I do have the other things from the book that's out of print, and the ones that I've gotten from other teachers, like the flag, the story flag, and the banner and stuff like that. If anybody would like that download, then that will be $5.50. And let me give you the resource page. Hold on just a second. Let me bring it up. Okay, here is the resource page. Now this has, excuse me, one more time. This has the homeschool share, because that's got the mini books and stuff. It has the reading A to Z. And then these are 2 books that have to do with real world reading. And now Paul has asked, did you mention the American Girls Club? No, I haven't mentioned the American Girls Club this time. And what Paul's talking about is my daughter is involved in what's called the American Girls Club, and it's through Kirkclick. Let me put that down. It's www.cur-click.com. And if you go there and do a search for American Girls Club, it will come up. It's free, doesn't cost you a thing, and they read 1 book per month. And they have done 3, 4, 5. They've done 5 books. They'll be starting their 6th book February. I think I'm correct on that. They have finished the Kaya books, and they're on the Felicity books. Now the next thing that I want to show you is my page with my stuff. So if anybody's interested in the download, this is the PayPal account email that you need. This is my other email that you can email me at, and this is my blog address. And so if you do want this and you put the money in there, please email me and let me know that you've done that. The American Girls Club, my daughter has really enjoyed. They get online they send you an email with the link to get online, and then they're in a chat, kind of just like we're doing right now. They see the teacher in a little square. They see her face, and they have a chat that they can chat in. And they have about 5 or 6, maybe even more than that, moderators that are in the room making sure the girls are behaving. And then they discuss the book, because in the email they sent questions that the girls will need to answer during the class. And then they do an activity of some kind, and usually it's some kind of arts and crafts. During the Kaya books, they did an anklet out of yarn. They did a teepee, was the very first thing that they did, and I can't remember the third one. So she has really enjoyed it. She loves getting on there and finding out where all the other girls are from. And so that has been something that she's really enjoyed. And for us, she reads that book on her own. I am not doing that book with her. She is reading those on her own. For her reading, we do a novel, and she reads to me. And then I usually have questions or lap book activities or something like that. And the American Girls have actually had lap book. If her reading book's here, I'll show it to you, but I don't think it's here. The American Girls books have lap books to go with them, and so I thought that was really cool. that we could also do some lap book activities to go along with that. And so she has loved the American Girls. I think it's a wonderful thing for the little girls to get in do reading books. Now, they don't do all 6 books. You know, each girl has 6 books. They don't do all 6. They do 3. She picks 3 of them. She usually does the meet, like they 2 months, not this month, but last month they did Meet Felicity, and then they did Felicity Learns a Lesson, I think, and I'm not sure what this next month is. So they will do 3 books per child, per girl. And I don't really know who the next girl is. I can probably look real quick for you. The next girl, now these are a little older, but it looks like it might be Josephina will be next. I thought they were listed right here, but maybe not. But she really enjoys this. So these are older American. This is Felicity, Changes for Felicity. And this one is number 6, so this might be what they're doing next. I don't know. But they did Felicity Learns a Lesson. Is what the one that they've just finished, I think. So the American Girls Club is something that is really, really a good thing. I don't know that they have a boys version of that. I haven't seen anything for the boys, but the American Girls Club is really cool. Does anybody else have any other questions? We don't have quite as many in here today, do we? Dawn, which idea did you say you liked? Now, I see now that you said love that idea. Which idea? Am I still going? Okay. Oh, the hand. Dawn said it was the hand. The who, what, where, when, why, and how. Like I said, the first time I heard that, it had to do with creative writing and helping them make their writing better. But then I started thinking, oh shoot, you said that you just lost me. It's still recording, so I'm gonna have to keep going. But the hand is something that I have used in different ways, because even for other things, it's very good to use the hand for a child to tell you about something, because then they can think about what they're telling you about. So I have used this a lot, but my biggest thing for using it was creative writing. So I've loved this. In fact, I don't know if you can see over this shoulder. Over this shoulder, can you see? Right there. There's my hand right there on my board, because Abby, I use this all the time with Abby, and so I put it up on the board. Yeah, it gives another meaning to talk to the hand. Very good. Bella loves American Girls Club. I tell you, Abby has really enjoyed it, and I know that when Bella started it, she wanted to do it even more. When Bella is one of Abby's good friends from homeschool, so she has really enjoyed American Girls Club. Paula, are we just low today on viewers, or am I just not seeing everybody? Because it just doesn't look like we have that many, and chat hasn't been going like crazy. I tell you, I would covet your prayers. We are having a time and a half around my house trying to get my mom and them moved. So if y'all would put us in your prayers, because we've just been told we can't even do what we thought we could do. And so we're all kind of in a funk today. So, well, that's about our time. I really appreciate the ones that are here, and if you watch this on the video and you would like the download for this webcast, you can use, I'm going to put up the screen real quick. you can use this email address at the top, and it will be $5.50 for the download, and it has all of the stuff that I talked about today. So thank you so much, and I'll see y'all next week. And before I go, next week, let me come back to the camera real quick so that I can look it up. I always forget to bring this up first so that I can remember what next week is. Okay, next week is math. Next week is the math class. I have had a couple of questions, but I haven't had very many questions. So if you're watching this on the recording, please email me with math questions so that I can answer those. I am going to talk about metrics. I'm going to talk about some tricks on multiplication. I'm going to show the best way that I've seen to teach division, and I'm going to teach probably a little bit of algebra, but if I don't have any other questions, then I'm going to have to just make up some stuff. But if I have questions, math questions, I would love for y'all to give me your questions so that I can kind of cater to the questions that I get. And this might be a good one for the kids to watch also, so that they can ask questions, math questions. And math is my love. I love math, and that's what I taught. So next week is the math class. So I'll see you next week. And y'all have a great week. Bye.